Just a quick word of warning before we get going that the following podcast will almost certainly contain spoilers and may also contain strong language and conversations of an adult nature.
Hello and welcome to episode 2 of Strong Language and Violent Scenes, the podcast that gives a second chance to films that might not deserve them. I'm Mitch Vane, a freelance film composer and the founder of ShockStreetHorror.com.
And I'm Andy Stewart, I'm a filmmaker and a journalist and a bunch of other rubbish in between.
And very happy also to welcome our first ever guest to the show. He is a award-winning comedian, also the voice of West FM's Breakfast Show, and also the voice of Insane Championship Wrestling, Mr. Billy Kirkwood. Thanks a lot for joining us.
Hello.
Hello,
yeah,
Billy.
It's lovely to be here.
Yeah.
Do you know, I should have said I'm also, I guess, the host of Watch Bad Movies with Great Comedians.
Oh, of course,
I never even thought I'd say that.
yes,
That's like a relevant show, very relevant to what we're talking about today, I should imagine. So let's dive in.
Mitch, I don't even know where to start with this film, to be honest. I think it's maybe best way just put it over to Billy then, and just you can tell us what film you decided to bring
The movie I picked is an oddity. It's a film I love and hate in equal measure. It's so odd, but that's my taste in everything. I think I grow to love things, and particularly if you're in film, because anybody can make. I think it's over. Anyone can make a masterpiece. But a film that you'll just keep rewatching will become a favourite. That's not easy to do. Like I'd say now we watch Jaws any day of the week, you know. So I'm completely contradicting myself. The film is The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai across the eighth dimension, which is a film not many people will know. I think probably the biggest thing people know is it got Peter Weller the Robocop gig. Seemingly, that's probably his biggest claim to fame.
That and it's single-handedly bankrupt Sherwood Studios as well.
Oh God, yes.
Which I think both those things are equally fascinating in terms of like how it functions as a film. So, but yeah, before we really get into it, then, so like, what is your relationship with this film? What why did you make us do this?
Do you know the first time I ever saw it was, remember Bravo?
Oh yeah,
Bravo, right? They always used to put on the most oddest movies. Like it was the first place I ever saw like Hell Comes to Frogtown and all these type of movies.
Pretty much everything that Arrow Video released nowadays.
They used to have, and it was when I saw Buckaroo Banzai, and I remember watching it. God, I must have been 17, maybe 16, probably even younger than that. I'm not sure. And I remember watching it halfway through the film and just going, "What the fuck is going on? What the fuck is going on?" Like I recognise John Lithgow. Because I think at the time he was in Fifth Rock and the
Third Rock from the Sun.
Third Rock from the Sun.
Bigfoot and the Hendersons.
I'd seen him in Bigfoot and the Hendersons. Seen him in Citizen. Oh, what was that film called, man? The one where he dresses up as a woman right at the end, and it's so weird.
Raising Cain.
Is it Raising Cain? I think I said Citizen Kane. Anyway, but I knew he was, and then and there's Peter Weller, and there's Jeff Goldblum. What is this?
Ellen Barkin.
And then, but the thing is, and this was back in the day before like details would come up. Like you could just push a button for information and like, oh, that film gone. Like I've only saw the last 10 minutes of this film and I have no idea what's going on. Christopher Lloyd's fucking in it. And he's like, what is this?
For some reason.
What is this? Nonsense. But there was something about it. Do you know, I think one of the things that gets me about Buckaroo Banzai that left out, even in a little 10 minutes, is it's fun.
Yeah.
There's an element of fun about it, and like from comedy to acting to plays to anything. If people are having fun, man, you're engaged. You are engaged. You know what I mean? So I think a little time went by. Finally tracked this bastard down on like VHS, I think it was. And this was around about the time I worked in Blockbuster Video when I was a student.
Okay.
So like.
Ideally placed.
It's the best job in the world because like back then I was a film student as well. You got a 7 free rental. You just eat everything that comes. You watch any type of tripe that comes. Films that I wouldn't even give the time of fucking day to now. You know, even good films that I wouldn't give the time of day to now. Like I remember watching what's that one with Harrison Ford and Michelle Pfeiffer?
What Lies Beneath?
What Lies Beneath. Yeah. I probably wouldn't watch that now, to be honest. Just not my type of film. Nothing wrong with it. Great film. Robert Zemeckis, good film. probably wouldn't watch it, but I would just watch anything. That and AI or A1 as people would frequently come to the fucking shop and ask for. It's just like, you motherfuckers, learn to read, you illiterate fuckbags. And as someone from, these are my people from Ayrshire, and I was just like, fucking get a grip of yourselves, fuck's sake, give me high sixes and all that. So, you go through a period of time, and then I think you get into like your 20s, and you start really latching on to favourites. You start becoming the person you are.
Yeah, sure.
You know, and I've always been a sort of mixed bag, and I love mixed genre. People are smashing up genres together and having fun, and maybe it's my artsy-fartsy background, I don't know. But then I would rewatch this film continuously. Now, here's the thing. I reckon the first 10 times I thought it was alright.
Right. So that after like the 7th time you thought it was alright. I'm quite impressed you put the hours in.
Yeah, I kept going. It was something quite relaxing, fun to have on in the background, and just constantly glancing on. It's colourful, and there's clearly a lot of ideas going. That's the thing. It's just like
overflowing with ideas.
Yeah, it's like I think I love the ambition of it. Like more than I love the ambition of it, and the fact that they've clearly went, we wanted to make something a bit different. Now, whether or not they've achieved a successful or a good film,
it's certainly different.
That's up for debate. It doesn't even have the. I think it does have a cult following, certainly.
Oh yeah, it
does have a cult following. Even I love the fact that filmmakers even today, even J.J. Abrams is a fan of this film because he goes, look at what they're doing, it's fun. And that's what I like about Buckaroo
Kevin
Banzai.
Smith's been wanting to remake it for years.
Kevin Smith, please don't.
No. We were talking about that.
No disrespect. Yeah. Do you know something? Judging on some of his recent work, I totally get that. I totally get he's a guy that likes to bend genres. But the thing is, I don't think you can remake this film because what they're trying to do is this film, like, how on earth they ever thought this was going to be successful? Like, because it's like there's like a bit of Flash Gordon in there, there's like fucking like rock operas, there's like comic book strips. It's so all over the place. It's like just put it all in, and he's going to have a gang, and everything's formed. Everything's formed. You don't get any backstory apart from like everything's formed, which I do like in a film. I like that. This is the universe. Come on in. Like, if I see the fucking Peter Parker Genesis story or Batman's Genesis story one more fucking time, I will scream, I know who fucking Batman is. My fucking 2-year-old knows who fucking Batman is, alright? I don't need to see that Genesis story again.
See, just in general, though, I'm generally getting to become of the opinion that origin stories can largely get to fuck. Because, I'm much more like, seriously, have you seen A Quiet Place?
Yes, yeah.
Right, so, like, see the fact that you're just planted in the universe there, and you're like, right, okay, something's happened, it doesn't matter what, here's where you are.
Yeah.
And I like that a little bit more, and I think that kind of ties in with the fact that, Buckaroo Banzai has certainly got a kind of like shoot first, ask questions later approach to the exposition. Where like it kind of drops some events that are on their surface extremely confusing, and then they kind of like feed you an explanation afterwards.
I even love the stuff they don't explain.
Yeah.
The watermelon.
Why
is the watermelon there? Yeah. I'll explain later. That's an Easter egg. They are, and this is what I like about it, they are fucking with us.
Absolutely.
They are literally
100%.
fucking with us to the point, but they want you to go, we're fucking with you, but come on, just take the leap of faith. They want you, it's a constant film with them going, take this leap of faith.
Just get on board.
This is a cartoon. Take the leap of faith.
I also think they're fucking with the actors. Because Jeff Goldblum, for the most part, cuts around in a red cowboy outfit like Roy Rogers.
I love the fact he's a brain surgeon. And then basically, they give him an opportunity to cut loose, and he's like, I've always wanted to be a cowboy, and they're kind of like, okay, that's fine. I accept that. It's kind of ahead of its time. In a world where we're just developing, like, you know, we've got like gender fluidity and stuff like that. We're doing all these things and really want people to open up. Back then, you joined the Hong Kong Cavaliers. It's like, yeah, that's fine. You can be whoever you want. You can be literally
I have
whoever you
chosen
want.
to be a cowboy. Now, if I was going in for surgery and I happened to catch a glimpse of him before or after my surgery, I would have some real questions.
I'd have some, It's like, if he had spurs on while he was doing surgery.
Well, they actually ask him why he doesn't have spurs at one point. They say, where are your spurs? And he's just like, no, don't know.
That's right, he goes, is he messing with me? Is he having fun with me? It's like, what? You just keep the cameras rolling?
Buckaroo Banzai is also a surgeon.
Yes, that's right.
To which my wife, she said, there is no way I would let a Dr. Banzai anywhere near me in a million years. And she's absolutely right. He's not just a neurosurgeon. No. He's a martial artist.
Yes.
A particle physicist.
Particle physicist, yeah.
Gunfighter.
gunfighter, a multi-instrumentalist musical superstar.
Test pilot.
Yep, he's got a jet car.
He's got a jet car.
Yeah, I mean,
a jet car.
See, the opening crawl was phenomenal, by the way.
There is, I don't know if you guys watched it, there is a longer cut with...
Yeah, with his parents.
With his parents,
Yeah.
with Jamie Lee Curtis.
And the guy who plays Shredder.
That's right. It's like, what the fuck? And then they go on about Hanoi Shan, who was clearly... Again, that's like, you guys were away. You were like, you had the League of Criminals, the World Crime League, I should say, which I have got into so many fucking things, man. Like, I'm not lying. The World Crime League has Hanoi Shan is turned up in wrestling commentary, and if anyone has noticed that, it is fucking. This is the most despicable thing since Hanoi Shan and the World Crime League took down. Like, it's ridiculous, but yeah, I love the huge variety of characters, and again, I don't know why they've heaped all this on Buckaroo Banzai. Like,
yeah,
I don't. As a writer myself, I don't quite. You should always take. You know this more than anyone. You should take it and smash it against the ground if you're looking to do something different.
Sure.
Take the convention rules and smash it against the ground. That's clearly what these guys have done. They want to make something as out there as they can, and I totally get that. But guys, when did it get to the point that you thought this was going to be a success? Or, and this is it, in the vein of Crocodile Dundee, was this meant to be a giant tax write-off?
Yeah.
Like, I've thought it more than once. I've got the threes. Was this meant to be like Crocodile Dundee was meant to be a huge? They thought it might do all right.
And it was a gigantic hit.
And it was a huge hit.
massive
Like Bono himself. I think Bono put something like money into this. Did you not know that? Bono put money into Crocodile Dundee.
Is that a real thing?
That's a real thing. You invested money. Crocodile Dundee is a tax thing, and it ended up being the biggest movie of that year. Like, huge. Absolutely fucking huge.
That was an absolute cultural phenomenon.
Yeah.
So as we know, he is of mixed heritage. He's part Japanese, as evidenced by his surname, which just kind of brings to mind.
Everyone's called Banzai in Japan.
We've got an emergency.
Buckaroo will deal with it, don't worry.
Yeah, well, of course.
It's in hand. It's
He's probably a fireman as well.
But it's really not explored in any other way, his lineage, really, apart from the fact he kind of lives in a dojo in his van.
Yeah. They don't have time.
And says arigato.
Yeah.
Like, that's really,
they just
doesn't say thanks.
They just don't have time. There's like literally no way. Like,
it's busy.
The whole film is so busy.
Yeah, there's like a kitchen sink theory going on, and I think that if your film's going to come in at a lean 100 minutes, you can only afford a certain amount of time to this kind of thing.
But there's even little things like, and I think that's why I like it. It feels like, I always think of it as like an alternative universe where like all these other universes have effectively broken it a little. And so it's so busy. Like, for example, the president is on, I think, like a chiropractic.
Yeah, he's like in traction.
And it's never referenced.
No.
Yeah, because we don't know how long he's been.
Yep.
Did he go through the campaign?
He does say he has a sore back. But, I mean...
But I mean, like, I have a sore back almost all the time.
It must be a fucking sore back if he's in traction. Performing his presidential duties from
and I think that's
upside down as well. Like.
Every scene there is at least a thing that you go, why is he like that? Why is that there?
Like, see, I've got this tendency to, if there's something happens and I ask a question, I kind of automatically assume that it's maybe in dumb and it's something previously that I've missed.
Yeah.
And, like, so that time when Buckaroo's talking to the president and he's in traction at the time.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like, oh, fuck, did I miss something? Then I realised that literally, like, every few minutes, something I was like, oh, was that explained before? Then I was like, oh, right, none of it was. It's fine. Okay.
Yeah.
No,
and then, once I realised that and took that leap, I was away.
Like, right at the start, there's a general. Who's a complete... Like,
that's right.
He's a complete shitbag.
Yeah. Is he not the same guy?
Why are you a general?
Is he not the same guy later? It says something like, I'm about to lose my fudge.
Yeah. And it's like I love the fact that the military are presented as cowards.
Yeah, because like kind of some like the vice president or something, she's like that to him, pull yourself together,
yeah, exactly.
Like sort yourself out.
Adults are children. Adults are children in this, and I think it's so rambunctiously silly. That I just it makes me smile. It's a film that makes me smile, and every time I watch it, I notice something else that makes me go, "What the fuck?" Why's that guy got two belts? That guy's got two belts on, and he looks cool. It's in terms of style. Fucking hell, man! Like, if hipsters ever discover this film, they've got hipsters. The concept of hipsterdom will have another 20 years. if they ever discover this film.
Oh yeah,
there are a lot of interesting fashions.
In fact, I'm
throughout.
sure it was Russell T Davis, Stephen Moffat, who did say that one of the costume designers was influenced by Matt Smith's look. Came directly off Buckaroo.
I said that earlier.
You said that earlier.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought. The film wastes absolutely no time after that initial crawl. We have Buckaroo performing some brain surgery, apparently training Jeff Goldblum at the same time.
Yeah.
And then he sets off pretty quickly to test out his new rocket car, which kind of looks like a Ford truck with the old Adam West Batmobile strapped to the back.
Which the guys from oh my god, Yo-Yo Dine are already trying to get a hold of.
Yeah, that's right.
They're already. I mean, they're trying to sabotage this whole thing.
Yeah,
straight from the off. Yeah.
And I noticed at one point when they're preparing for the launch, in their kind of pre-launch countdown, one guy says, "All systems righteous." Like, just like right. That's it. That's the kind of film that we're in, and this is the first kind of 2 minutes of the film, 3 minutes of the film. That's fucking and from that point, it's madness.
If you thought you were watching a gritty, like you have picked the wrong film.
I mean, going in, I had no fucking idea what I was watching. But yeah, I realised pretty quick what I was watching. But going in, I had no idea.
It's even too busy for a comic strip. Like even the comic strips that were written by W.D. Ritker, who obviously put the film together, it doesn't really work because there's so much going on. But then again, in its own way, like there's a guy who, the villain is dressed like a pickle and he's trying to sneak his way in. And he manages to get in, and it's just like, of course. Because I'm the asshole for even questioning this. And I think if nothing else, it just makes you go, you know, sometimes I think, certainly when you get older and if you've had experience of watching films for a long time, sometimes you just enjoy the journey. There's nothing worse. Yeah. Sometimes you just enjoy the journey, and Buckaroo Banzai forces you to enjoy the journey. Forces you to just go, you're not going to make any sense of any of this shit. And if you do, you make your own theories. Like I did this, there's a screening over in LA that I was very lucky to go to. And man, the theories. Like, folk could write like hundreds of these fucking films.
Seriously?
Oh my god! Like even quantum physicists. Like that's where the multi-dimensional thing. It's a universe that's broken. It's meant to be like, and it's like, fuck, man, that's really deep. I didn't even fucking put that into. Anyway, right, sorry, carry on, boys.
No, it's right. So right after we see the successful trying of the oscillation overthruster.
Yes, was
when he passes through the mountain and stuff.
Yeah.
So you immediately cut to
and there's the random creature that's breathing on it.
Yeah, he's brought something back.
Some kind of little ball
from the eighth dimension.
Ball.
Yeah, like a wee cricket ball sized brain. Yeah, it looks like it's kind of like.
Don't be fooled, kids. It's nothing to do with the rest of the film.
What's this leading to? Fuck all.
Yeah, you're wondering what that is? Keep wondering.
Keep wondering.
But but after that, we get introduced to his former colleague / nemesis, Dr. Emilio Lizardo. Who's watching this on the news from Trenton, home for the criminally insane.
The loony. How amazing is the loony bin?
Unbelievable. There's a guy in the background at one point with sock suspenders, and he's in his pants, and he's got a briefcase, and he's washing up. He's like wiping the wall. I was just like, this is a loony bin.
This looks like a tasteful 80s depiction of a loony bin.
John Lithgow in this film is.
So John Lithgow is
fucking banana Lizardo.
A ball. Just, I guess quickly, you do see the flashback after he electrocutes himself
to
remind himself. Like it's never really established.
False flashback.
Why he's giving himself shock treatment to remember the horrible incident that happened to his symbiont host.
Yeah.
You know, it's what the fuck.
He's a staggering array of wigs as well. Like he starts off with real black, dark when Sean Connery's playing a Japanese guy hair, and then it gets madder and kind of more orange and bigger.
He's ginger by the middle of the film.
Yeah, and his fucking teeth, man. His teeth are very upsetting. I love Dr. And his feet and toes and everything. He's fucking. He's so disgusting.
And then obviously you see the flashback where he effectively a version of the oscillation. I always get it wrong.
Oscillation overthruster.
Oscillation overthruster.
I think we can cut it to overthruster.
We'll go overthruster.
Just for ease.
Well, I don't know. I mean, are we doing? Clearly, the oscillation bit is very important.
We're playing as fast and loose as the film.
He does like an early version of that. That's not ready. Everyone warns him. He goes through, and that's where he is. We believe taking over. I don't even know how that works.
It goes through. It kind of goes.
I love the bit that he
through
comes
a hole
back
in a wall, and he gets accosted by those rubbish aliens that are through the rest of the film. He's just through a hole in the wall, and his feet are just kind of kicking on the other side.
The making of the film, the documentary that goes with it, is amazing because they talk about how the makeup, if you actually look at a couple of the makeups, they're amazing. A couple of them are really detailed. It's so many parts, took hours to do. But as clearly budget started running out, they just go, well, we'll just put that.
Like John Parker's gloves.
Yeah, we'll just put the head on them, like as it goes on.
That's like Troll 2. You notice that? See, like, whenever you see like a whole load of them in Troll 2, you're always like, oh, that one's quick. Oh wait, no.
Yeah.
And then eventually it's just one guy with just like a burlap sack on.
Yeah. And so some of them are really, really detailed, and I think like the aliens you see that are on the high chairs, like really. Their makeup's really good, but then other guys just like, you shit. What the fuck are you doing? But then he gets taken over and does one of the best fucking I have gone nuts performances. I just love the fact he doesn't say anything. He goes,
kind of pauses by the door as well.
The pause is amazing. The flash his head, looks right down the lens, right at you.
That's it.
I mean, like he's
felt it.
He's Spinal Tap, and he's taking Crazy to 11.
Fucking yes.
Listen, if you're gonna go full pelt, and he certainly does.
See, Lithgow is doing the Lord's work in this film. Honestly,
it is bananas, and I've no idea what he's. I think he's Italian.
He's
Italian.
He is Italian, but obviously the creature is
not. Yeah, it's not really Italian.
I love the fact they just mangle it through. But again, it's like pantomime. It's like a pantomime comic book. So I don't like how the fuck do you describe it? It's so crazy. But then obviously we come back to the real story where nothing really is happening.
Well, Buckaroo Banzai has a gig.
Yeah. And the Hong Kong Cavaliers.
Life isn't normal with the guy who now this is just because it's been a long day. I've been up since 4:30. What's the name? Do you remember the name of the venues performing at?
Yeah, Artie's Artery.
Now I'll tell you for why. Artie had emergency heart surgery.
Right.
Who performed the heart surgery?
Dr. Buckaroo Banzai?
Dr. Buckaroo Banzai!
In hell.
Apparently at a gig, he took that, boom, and then he opened it and got a new lease in life. Before that, he was a scientist, and now he runs a fucking top rock venue with 12 people in it.
It's not that busy
I used to think it was a private gig.
Yeah.
And obviously we meet Penny, who is having a hard time. We don't really know why. And tries to
she's in a hell of a state.
Tries to kill herself in the middle of a gig. Now, we'll get this out of the way very quickly. It is disgusting, the thing I have for Ellen Barkin in this film, right?
Really?
It's disgusting.
Is it that bit in the prison cell?
We'll move on. Oh my goodness, are you kidding? Even when she's crying, I'm kind of half-mast. It's not right. It's like, I want to help. I'll protect you. Don't you worry. And obviously in the middle of the concert, which seems to be going well.
So I mean, like,
he's got the smallest trumpet in the world.
Yeah. And it's got some genuine musicians in it. Like, those guys still perform to this day. I think even perform with Peter Weller.
Did they perform under the Hong Kong Cavaliers moniker?
That exists.
But when we get to that scene, so obviously like, they kick off the gig and it's kind of in full flow.
Yeah.
And out of nowhere, I think an extremely perceptive Buckaroo is like, wait, stop the music. Someone in the room is having a bad time.
Listen, with everything that's going on, I'm not fucking surprised. That guy must have like the hearing of a fucking bat.
Oh yeah,
he knows we're having this discussion right now.
when they're in the midst of it, the band kind of become the avatar for the audience, and one guy goes, "This is weird," and we're all like, yes, it fucking is.
But even that's kind of fun. So this is weird. It's good, isn't
it? And you say he drops the weird bomb way before it's really weird.
Yeah, Buckaroo's a weird cat. Like
he's
awkward. He's like clearly got some form of high functioning autism, and I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. I mean that in the good. Well, fucking good for you, mate, because you've had a fucked up upbringing.
Where does he get this cachet that he's treated like this? He seems to be almost a kind of jack of all trades, master of none.
He reminds me of that Gary V guy, just constantly fucking moving with a bunch of people around him. It's like, do you ever sleep? For fun. He's gone from thing to thing. If Buckaroo, fuck me. Gary V is I refuse to pronounce this cunt's real name. Gary Vaynerchuk. Do you know who I mean?
No.
The guy that does all crushing it videos and all that. You guys have no idea. He's like, well, this is the guy that basically spends his whole time coaching you on how to improve your brand and how to help people with it. Get social media out there, get embraced and help people with their social media. So it's like, but what do you do? What is the thing you do apart from tell people to do what you're doing? Okay. Which is telling people to do what you're doing. What do you fucking do? And I hate that. I hate it. Like, I get the fact this guy's a fucking millionaire. Like, I even see him, like, he's I'm working with our clients, helping them improve their brand and social media. By how? By doing what? By telling them to do what you fucking do? This guy, that came from nothing, and like his father had like a £5 million vineyard. It's like, oh yeah, because you were fucking struggling, you prick. Sorry. That's your Buckaroo Banzai is.
Practice is what he preaches.
Yeah. So I think it's worth mentioning when Buckaroo serenades Penny.
Wherever you go, wherever you go, there you are.
Wherever you go, there you are. I was going to say it's an iconic line in the film.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
And yeah, and what I think
makes sense.
What I think is yeah, I'm not sure it makes sense.
It's like going, yeah, maybe.
But what I think is possibly the most extreme reaction that I've ever seen to someone being serenaded, that she then pulls a gun out of her pocket and tries to kill herself.
Yeah, but Buckaroo, this isn't going well.
I don't blame her, because the gig does kind of drop off a bit.
It's a momentum breaker. It's a momentum breaker for sure.
When it's in full flow, even the people in his band are kind of like, what's he doing? Right, now here's a couple of things that we're going to get to really fucking quick, right?
Right, do it.
Penny is, first of all, the spitting image of Buckaroo's ex-wife.
More than the spitting image.
Oh yeah. We don't need to give that away just yet. Although I think it's revealed quite quickly.
Yes,
they're sisters. Now she's no idea who Buckaroo is. She's like, literally, she's never heard of this guy that her sister went and married.
I'm assuming that we're to believe that
they were separated. We're assuming to think that, but you're fucking telling me she's still never heard of Buckaroo, who seems to be like the biggest fucking deal in the fucking planet.
Because he's got like a band, but also
the comic book.
She never turned on the telly and went, holy fuck, she looks just like me.
The guy's famous enough to have an arcade machine in an insane asylum about him.
And no one in the band clocks this apart from Buckaroo. No one's like, holy shit.
Mate, does that not look
we're about to have a show, don't make a big deal about it, but there's his fucking dead wife.
If I do a stand-up gig, right, and people go, fuck man, there's a guy in the front row, it looks like X. You always get it. No one went, fuck me, it's like, Buckaroo's wife's dead, right? Yeah, there's a fucking, look at her. Through the curtains, so much like her. Look at her. We've got to tell him. Oh, don't tell him. No, if he goes out there, so, like, is Buckaroo just, does he see her and just doesn't know what to fucking do? It's like, I better sing her a song.
Maybe he does it, just all getting, that's the one time his mind kind of short circuits.
Because if he cottons on to the fact that she looks like she is the spit of his dead wife, he is completely impassive. Like, it doesn't register on his face.
I think it registers pretty quickly, but he plays it cool.
You think so?
Yeah, he gives nothing away.
Gives nothing away.
I'm maybe underselling the nuance.
I think that's
he does clearly go, I'm going to pump her. So we've got a love story, and we have a villain kind of set. Like he escapes in quick succession. There is a plan,
but then he's not seen again for another.
He's not seen again for a
conservatively
while.
40 minutes of the film.
It's 42 minutes. Between him escaping and the ransom call, the film's principal villain is off camera for 42 minutes.
But we do have
we do have Christopher Lloyd in it now. Christopher Lloyd was not like. He kind of a jobbing actor around about when this time ago, but we are only like
minutes away from Back to the Future.
We are like a year, maybe 2 or 3, like before Back to the Future must have started production. He's on Taxi.
Taxi, I was going to say, would be his big thing at the time.
Yeah, he would have been Christopher Lloyd in Taxi. Now maybe he's trying to break into films. I know he'd done a couple of westerns. I know he's clearly trying to break into films, and you could do a fucking whole show on Christopher Lloyd on his own. He is such an oddity in terms of career. Like why?
Oh, absolutely.
Why he never became. Well, he did. At one point, he must have been one of the biggest faces, biggest actors on the planet.
Certainly one of the more recognisable.
Because he did Back to the Future, even Addams Family, and loads of other things. He just mental. Anyway, but these other Vince. Oh, I can never remember that fellow's name. Italian actor. He was in Ghost.
Vincent Chiavelli.
The three guys from Yo-Yo-Dine, again, at this point, are not unknown.
Oh, no, absolutely not.
They are not unknown actors. They must have I wonder, were they meant to have bigger part? And even their relationship is kind of like this bizarre Three Stooges thing they kind of got going on.
Right. If we're gonna dig into the Yo-Yo-Dine thing, then
can I just quickly touch on just after Buckaroo gets Penny out of the jail cell.
Because just for clarity, in case anyone's
listening, they go straight. Yeah, they go just like him and a Perfect Tommy.
Had no stress on those bars. Perfect Tommy on his own.
Perfect Tommy.
Fucking totally would.
They go straight from there to a press conference, which is moving quickly because there's a motorcycle
thing coming in.
But I mean, there was a lot of Harley Davidson dollars there. By the way, there was Harley Davidson everywhere, posters, everything, trucks.
Listen, this must have been. We'll buy Harleys for the entire fucking crew.
It seems like that.
We'll buy Harleys for the entire
That's your pay. That's your wage. You get a motorbike.
And they kidnap Dr.
Dr.
Hikita. That's what Yo-Yo-Dine are doing because they want the overthrust. They want for
their own nefarious means.
Just for clarity, on the off chance that anyone is being crazy enough to listen to this without having seen the film, just to tie this loosely.
We have bounced about so much.
So basically,
I'm trying to stay.
It's like what we have here basically is that the suicide attempt in the club is misinterpreted as a shooting, as assassination attempt on Buckaroo Banzai. So the depressed lady Penny Pretty is taken to jail for that, and Buckaroo doesn't even seem to bail her out, just walks her right out of the jail.
Walks her right
out. But it goes straight to this press conference, and for some reason Penny's on the panel at the press conference, still wearing Perfect Tommy's jacket and the pink slip. Like
you're usually part of the Hong Kong Cavaliers.
Yeah, just like
part of the gang.
You sit here now.
Doesn't matter what happens. You're accepted. You're accepted. Maybe there's actually a deeper message in there that I'm only realising as we're talking.
No, I feel there are some deeper messages.
Yeah. Fuck. I never. God, every time you watch this fucking film, it's got something else.
But
about that I really loved, it comes quite quickly after that, is when Buckaroo Banzai gets zapped, and he has this moment where the formula that saves the day is kind of blasted into his mind, and he writes it down quickly on his hand. And then later when he rescues Dr. Hikita from the van, Hikita's like, give me the formula, Buckaroo, give me it, and he licks his hand and just presses it, stabs it on his forehead, and he fucking died, man. Yeah, and then 2 seconds later, he kicks an alien in the balls, and I nearly fell off my chair. Like, it's fucking amazing.
Because it does move along. The kidnap, the chasing him with the Buckaroo, and then there's the introduction of the Blue Blazer regulars.
Of course,
right? Who are effectively a network of volunteers and fans that are out there. I mean, there's some pretty positive shit in here, because a little kid can be a member of it, and their opinion and their contribution is valued as much as the dad that flies a fucking helicopter.
He can freely, that child can freely discharge a firearm to his heart's content.
And Buckaroo completely said, "Yes, young child, what have you got to tell me?" And except, and I guess I like that. Because, fuck it, we've all got something to contribute in some way, so that's a nice thing on its own. Just skimming past it, because the Blue Blazer regulars are a thing. They're a thing now. There's a network of Blue Blazer regulars. I try not to get too involved with the community just because I don't really have the time. And,
you'd be right in there.
There's certain levels of this is maybe, you're just I've got kids and all. I really...
you don't have the time.
I don't really have the time to get as involved as you want to. Here is a guy in Scotland that really likes this film. I might be the only one. Just settle down. Just settle down and... but it's actually something that's... It's interesting as a film that's actually become more of a cult hit recently.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's been just, the invention of social media and what have you, people just being able to share ideas and getting out there. Oh, the re-releases, of course.
Yeah, the Arrow one there.
And it's gorgeous.
I
even love the way, even looking at the DVD case, the Blu-ray, I should say, even just the way they style it, it is very in-fitting with the movie.
Yeah.
Anyway, right, getting on with it.
Billy, who is this film for?
Me. Me on my own. I don't know.
At the time when it was made, when it was pitched and it was made and it was shot, who were they making this film for?
Absolutely no idea.
It's not a kid's film.
It's not a kid's film. I wouldn't say. It's not an adult's film. I think this is Scott Pilgrim. Right?
Okay.
This is Scott Pilgrim, right?
Interesting.
Now, in the respect of, I love Scott Pilgrim. I really enjoyed it. Great film. But when I watched it, I went, I don't think this is going to be a hit. It's so stylistic. It's made with great passion. It's very innovative. The characters are wild. Hell, these characters could all exist in the same universe. Like the Buckaroo Banzai guys, and these could all exist in some bizarre, twisted universe.
Now you've said it. It's not equivalent to what I was wrong before, but now you've said it. It's actually
it's not an insane leap.
Absolutely not. No.
You know, but I think it's made for those type of people. And the problem is, in terms of going to the cinema, those people don't, and they don't now. Hollywood must be shitting themselves on Netflix making original content now, because that's where the money is. That's where people are now digesting movies. I'm not saying all movies, but like Bright, for example. Bright was the biggest movie of last year, but you wouldn't know it. Yeah. The Hollywood press won't let that go, but it was the biggest movie of last year. And they probably paid like Will Smith like $50 million or something to be in that movie.
Conservatively.
Probably cost them like, they could easily spend $200 million in that movie. And the amount of subscriptions and the amount of traffic that got, fucking hell, it's paid for itself like 10 times over. It's crazy. And that's how they're going to produce. So bizarrely, if Buckaroo Banzai had like, let's pick someone random that's quite big just now. Let's say Leonardo DiCaprio. I'm not saying Leonardo DiCaprio, but it's Leonardo DiCaprio's Buckaroo Banzai that went straight to Netflix. Probably be a big hit now. Scott Pilgrim, I think, would have been a bigger hit if it had been a Netflix original.
Yeah.
If it had gone straight to Netflix, it would have been a bigger hit. And that's just the way that people digest the movies now. So it's bizarre, because it's made, this film and the time it was made for people that I don't think existed. Apart from, it's made for the Stranger Things generation.
That's a really good answer to a question that I didn't think had a right answer.
Right. There you go.
Yeah, indeed.
It's a bizarre one.
At a certain point in this film, the president's he's kind of trying to assimilate everything that's going on while being in traction. He's upside down. Of course. But he's got all this information coming at him. He's got generals freaking out.
Classic diplomacy stance.
Generals are freaking out. He's like, what the fuck? And it kind of takes a minute to take stock of everything that's going on. And he says, electroids from Planet 10, nuclear extortion, a girl named John. Now, I think any of these
whatever next
would be valid titles for this film. Equally valid titles for the film.
I guess the president is the conscience of the film. He's the dad who's watching his kid watch this film, just going, "What is this nonsense?" You know, it's like, "What is this? What you're into now, you kids?
I think
what's wrong with like? I can't think of one thing. What's wrong with Matlock or something?"
I quite like the idea of Electroids from Planet 10 as a title, because it makes it sound like a sequel.
I feel like somewhere in the writing that might have been the title.
It makes it sound like a sequel to Planet 9 from Outer Space.
What a great name for a band.
Yeah,
I wanted
100%.
Listen, I wanted to have I still want to have like a fucking wrestling stable. I want to call it the Hong Kong Cavaliers. I want to call it the Hong Kong.
So like Attitude Era WWF, that would have killed.
Yeah, but even now,
I think it still would.
I love things like doing a parallel between wrestling just quickly. I love things like Shikara and what have you and stuff like it's really quite out there. And again, it's that fun element. If something's fun, you will get my attention. It might not be great, but if it's fun and it's positive, and even like Phantasm 2, for example, it's a silly film, but I love it because it's made with great. There's a lot of due care and stuff that's made in that film, and the bucket, and it's exhibited right here, and I think that's what I like about it. It's so over the top that you go with it. You go with it straight over.
Now, I've seen the film several times, and some of the notes I've written, I wrote while watching it. I feel like this was the first time I actually tried to watch it, rather than just it being on and it washing over me. Yeah. Some of the things I've written, I am flummoxed.
Let's have a go, see if we work it out.
Alongside with, this is the best film ever. These glittery eye masks. Like, it's just...
yes, the eye mask, so they can look at the... Why would you not have that? Listen, alien technology is going to be a lot different for our own, and I think bubble wrap to the face of eye masks.
They aid in the finding they're watching a hologram.
They make sure people that have eye masks that are people that can contribute nothing at this point. It's like, well, you better see this alien's message as well. Really? So here's some bubble wrap, stick it to your face.
I also want to touch on the bit where Penny's tied up, and she got cherries in her mouth or balls in her mouth.
I'm not talking about this.
And Vincent Schiavelli, for some reason, pouring honey on her.
So they can. You've got a little alien creature that clearly is gonna.
Well, there's also it briefly shows you ants, and then you're thinking, ants, and John Lithgow, he's shouting, "Take her to the pit, use more honey."
I love that bit. Take her to the pit,
use more honey.
Use more honey. They're just kicking the shit out.
And then they oh fuck, she's going to get eaten by these ants. That's going to be her torture. That's her torture. And the next scene, she's got a tarantula sitting on her.
Yeah,
like,
and there's
what the fuck is going on?
The deleted scene where Penny shouts at Dr. Lozado, "I know exactly who you are, Hanoi Shan," and goes out of the room, and he goes, "Hanoi Shan? Who's that?" So they were clearly thinking, but Hanoi Shan is nowhere to be seen in this film, apart from in the edited, the precursor, which did not go out with the film.
At which point then?
Hanoi Shan is the biggest cunt in this film.
At which point then do you suppose...
He's the biggest villain, but he is nowhere to be seen.
At which point in the edit then do you suppose they realised they weren't going to get to make their sequel? After the edit, presumably they left that title card in.
I'd be pretty confident first day of filming. I don't know. I mean, if this had been a different generation, maybe, but it's so bizarre, and I think that's why I feel I need to live it, because I think that's why we do that. It's like, I'm the guy that picks up the fucking stray outside, that's tied up outside the shop. I'm that guy. I'm the guy. Well, nobody's talking to that guy in the back of the classroom. I'm going to go talk to him. I'm that guy. And I think that's why I like this film. You have to like really reach out and take a jump with it.
I also just quickly want to mention Christopher Lloyd's character's name.
John Big Booty.
John Big Booty. That's actually a bonus on contention throughout the film, is the mispronunciation.
You actually
of his
see
name.
a whole list of
John. Basically, all the aliens. For anyone who hasn't seen it, all the aliens
came here.
Called they all went to New Jersey.
They crashed in New Jersey and they got stuck there. And John Big Booty.
Yeah.
Who then gets shot after flipping off what is essentially a suicide mission by this Italian lectoid crackpot. Even that horrible thing where even the lectoids go, "Oh, this is fucking stupid. We've wasted our time." Buckaroo Banzai was right.
Is there a racist aspect to this film?
I don't think there's a racist aspect. I think there's a racial allegory.
There's a serious thing to be talked about here, because there's a lot of talk for hate towards the blacks. No, we've got the reds and the blacks.
The blacks are the black lectroids, for clarity, are the ones that are kind of like you're more inclined to side with, right?
Absolutely. Apart from the fact that they threaten to destroy the earth.
Yeah, the red lectroids are
assholes.
They're Mexicans. I don't know where it's meant to be.
I believe, considering it came out in 1984, that the red lectroids are communists.
Oh, yeah. I think that's
there you go. You're getting into that.
Also, it would explain what is essentially their crackpot behaviour, which was essentially still the party line, even though the Cold War was finishing.
And Lithgow's
was it really?
Lithgow's Hitler-esque rant against the blacks. Is a bit concerning.
But it means there's another depth to the movie. The thing is, like, sometimes I think people can let films get out of control. I think this film is exactly how they wanted it. Like, I genuinely think this is the film. How it got funded, I have no idea.
I would love to see when they all sat down to watch it at a test screening, like when they sat the producers down. Like,
I've heard John Lithgow rave about this film.
Oh no, he's still very pro.
And even
Buckaroo Banzai.
Even Peter Weller.
I was going to say the cast in general are still look back on it with like a fairly large amount of pride.
Yeah. I think I admire that. I mean, the director, I think, went on only to write. I think he wrote the movie Stealth.
Oh,
really?
Actually, that is a career nosedive.
He wrote the movie Stealth.
If I'm honest,
he wrote the movie Stealth, and that's about all he ever really did again. And would I have liked to see an exploration of Buckaroo Banzai? There's never going to be a sequel, which is sad because the sequel probably sounds like it should have been the first film.
Because the sequel, it's Buckaroo Banzai, the unmade sequel that is kind of trailed at the end is Buckaroo Banzai versus the World Crime League, right? You're right.
Jackie Chan was tipped to be.
But
I don't even want to think of what could have been.
Well, I think that's it. It's also a film. I think I also like that because somewhere I would have liked to have seen.
Oh no, I would definitely have liked to have seen it.
Again, I think you do come away with so many fucking questions. That you're like,
oh yeah.
I'd actually quite like to see more of this just to see where it goes. There's so much bizarre. There's so much crazy in this one movie. Where the fuck is the rest?
You do make a good point, though. I think that, like, based on the title alone, that makes more sense as a first film than this does.
Fuck, here it is. We all turned around right at the start and we said, God, I hate origin movies. Kind of nice to see the origin.
Yeah, absolutely.
How did he get?
Not this one.
How did he get to all these places? But you know, beyond like, if they made a TV series, my God, I'd watch it. But it'd be like Ash versus Evil Dead, which I couldn't help but notice there.
Yeah.
We loved it, but Ash versus Evil Dead suffered from. People watched it on replay. People bought the DVDs, but they did not watch the channel.
Yep.
And that's what Buckaroo Banzai would be. People would watch it on repeat. You'd watch it on your phone, but you would not watch it.
I feel like it would suffer from the. I don't know if you've seen Duck Gently.
Yes.
I feel like it would suffer from that same kind of thing.
A prime example. Yep. And the thing is, these things all now get. I mean, look at Dredd. Yeah. Dredd was a bomb, but then on DVD it did huge, and it's just the way that the movie is now. Interesting films of a certain ilk are getting harder and harder to become mainstream successes.
They're much harder to justify commercially.
Yeah, very much so. Which is a shame because
it is a shame.
Even Buckaroo Banzai's budget, which I'm sure is minuscule in comparison to what was made even a few years later, but it bankrupted a fucking studio, so you can't about that.
So I think we can start kind of bringing things. We could talk about this for the rest of the time.
I could do 3 other podcasts on this.
I think we need to start bringing it to an end. So, Mitch, I know this was a first watch for you. It wasn't a first. Well, I feel like it was a first watch for me because it was the first time I watched it in any real depth. I would absolutely recommend people check out Buckaroo Banzai. 100%. Now, I don't know about you. Would you?
I'm not going to hold it up as being like a cult classic or anything just yet. I don't think. But what I would say is that I came in thinking I found it borderline incomprehensible.
Yes, I agree.
But I would say that but I would say you've come in and made a pretty compelling argument.
Oh, cheers!
To giving it a second watch. I would recommend giving it a second.
It is an oddity.
100%.
That I think almost gives study.
I think it demands to be seen in a weird way. Yeah.
Study.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it's. I get the feeling we probably will see a Buckaroo Banzai something down the line. One day someone will rediscover this. If they will insist on remaking fucking everything, it's gonna go across someone's table at some point.
Keep the dream alive, Billy.
But I don't know. This might be my Buckaroo.
I kind of feel like your season arc now is gonna end up teaching like a film studies module in Buckaroo Banzai.
Who knows? Fuck it, I'm open to it. I could give them a lot. When you guys went and picked something, it was one of the first that I came to. But I thought, God, there are fucking so many.
Didn't take you long to come back with it.
Yeah, Buckaroo Banzai.
That's it. Boom, done.
Andy said it was borderline instant.
Yeah. Although I will say for the record, I remember I got invited by Mark Miller to pick a film to screen when he did this. Like,
the GFT series?
And I think it was... and Buckaroo Banzai was top of my list. And because I just thought it was a geek thing, and it was like, no. And I had a huge list. And I think like Soylent Green was what we eventually watched, which was like 8th, because I wanted a comedy, I wanted something silly, and clearly I got
crowd pleasing.
Clearly I got backed into a corner. Miller, he knows that. But then the thing is, like, and I'd mentioned Buckaroo Banzai when I talked about it before the film, but I went, but this is an interesting movie, is Soylent Green. I think it's a film a lot of people haven't seen. And but in the following month he had someone else on and they mentioned Buckaroo Banzai and he went, God, I just wish someone would pick it. And my mate from the back, bless him, went, Billy Kirkwood wanted to do it and you wouldn't let him. And it was just like, nobody cared, but it was just like, fucking good for you.
Yeah,
but
right.
It's a film that's up for studying, but I like the fact that some people will go, no, I don't think so. I might give it another watch though.
Yeah,
100%. It's piqued my curiosity.
Yeah.
And I'll watch it again, and it's one that'll force people to watch.
Yeah, I'm going to go home and watch it tonight. Like,
there you go.
After the Avengers.
So Billy, what have you got coming up?
Oh man,
anything you want to pitch?
Well, I've just filmed a DVD.
Oh, nice.
Okay, that's going to be coming out later in the year.
Stand-up DVD.
Yeah, it's a stand-up DVD. I resisted, and I think it's the best show I've ever done, which is annoying. It's annoying. Obviously things with ICW as well, and just touring around throughout the year, various different projects. Watch Bad Movies, Great Comedians. We're hopefully going to be making that a more regular thing,
right?
In Edinburgh and Glasgow and various different things. I think the best thing to do is catch me up on social media at www.facebook.com/ILikeBillyKirkwood, or you can check me out on social media at Billy Kirkwood. Don't be a dick, I'll be an even worse dick back. So
excellent.
Thanks to you,
Billy. Thank you very much.
It's been a pleasure, guys. Any fucking time.
So there you have it, Buckaroo Banzai, or to use its full, insanely long name, The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai Across the Eighth Dimension. We're still slightly divided. I think we can all agree that it's definitely worth a look.
I would say it narrowly scrapes by, I would say. It gets through. So
it is fucking crazy, though, like, and it's completely impenetrable.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I mean, like, it's bonkers in the most obtuse way. But also, it's a lot of fun.
It's also worth mentioning that Billy had to run because he was going to the cinema. At this point, in case you're late, he's all of a sudden awfully quiet.
Yeah, no, Avengers Infinity War waits for no man.
Yeah, absolutely not.
But a big thanks to him for stopping by and pretty much selling us on the film. Mm-hmm. Answering a lot of what I thought were impossible questions. Did a pretty good job, I thought. So thanks for joining us for episode 2. Stay tuned to the social media channels, which are Strong Language Violent Scenes on Facebook and also Instagram. You can also get us on Twitter at StrongViolentPC and email us at stronglanguageviolentscenes@gmail.com.
One thing I would like to say as well is if you've got us on social media, then and you've seen Buckaroo Banzai, or you've watched it since we announced this episode, then please pop onto social media and leave us just a 5-word review.
5-word review.
5-word review of The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai. You couldn't even do the film's title in 5 words. We will allow a hashtag out with the 5 words.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so you can put your 5 words and then a hashtag.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's allowed.
But tweet us with your 5-word reviews. That'd be great.
Yeah, and we'll read the best ones out next episode.
Sure. Yeah.
And
but yeah, in the meantime, stay tuned. We'll have some more announcements coming very soon about future guests, future episodes.
Yeah.
And don't forget,
no matter where you go, there you are.
Good night.
Good night.